So I want you to have this back to future opportunity with me. I want you to sit with me and the operating principal, Steven, when I used to go at him on all these things, about all these questions people come up to me and things I was even thinking about. And I used to start calling it Stump the Steven. Experience it with me. I'm going to go take you back to the future so you can see some of these times when we sat together. And then I want you to start thinking, was this you? So we have a lot of agents, a lot of agencies, but you know, if you're in the town, I want to be number one. You're telling me to do a business plan? That's the most important, right?
The agent needs to be number one?
Yeah, I'm a target a town, and I want to be number one in that town, right? Isn't that important to clients, being number one if I want to get another seller?
Well, I haven't seen a business card since I got into this business which didn't tell me that a realtor wasn't number one in something.
Oh, so that's what I need. I need to be number one in some, to be that.
Why do you believe that?
Because buyers and sellers, I want to focus on sellers. They pick someone who's number one.
Sometimes.
Right?
Sometimes. Sellers pick the realtor who's the best realtor for them. Or.
But I have to be able to say I'm number one in that town.
No, you don't. You have to tell us. You have to speak to what the seller needs. So my mindset when I go on a listing appointment is, why should someone hire me above all other options, including doing nothing? That's my mindset, and I have to answer that question for the seller. Whether I sold a home in that town before or not is irrelevant, because I need to know.
But they're going to say, have you sold a home on my street? How many have you sold in
Nope.
my town?
Nope.
That's going to be really important, and they're making a decision.
How do you
saying
know?
I'm number. Because that's what people do.
Have you asked them that question? How are you deciding which agent you're going to hire?
Well, sometimes I don't want to know if they're interviewing other people. I just want to get in there and give them my, you know.
Well, if you don't know what their decision-making criteria is, how can you tailor your presentation to them?
But if I'm number one, I know the phone is going to ring, and
Not
I know that's why
necessarily.
they got me in. So you're trying to tell me focusing on being number one in the town is not important?
No, I'm not saying that. If you focus on being number one in town, it is important. But what does number one mean? If it's important,
means I'm successful.
To you.
Better. What do you mean to me?
You have to
Everybody.
you have to go to the seller and ask the seller the question. How are you deciding which agent you're going to hire? What is your criteria? And if they say to you on the phone, Bev, we only want to hire the number one agent, say, well, how do you determine which agent's number one? Because everyone can be number one at something. I could be number one at every home sold in town below $200,000. But the other agent can be the number one agent on every home sold between 3 and 304.
Okay, I got it though. What about when you see the agents, I've sold over 300 homes, you know, over my 15-year period, so I'm the best.
That doesn't work to be a really good average in my brain, to be honest with you. Give me something quantifiable, because anyone can say they're the best at anything. Quantifying it, there's only one Super Bowl champion. Everyone else lost.
Okay.
So
I don't look at football.
Does
so
the team that got second place say we're the best even though we didn't win the trophy? Only one person's getting hired for that listing. So think of it like you're going on a job interview. How are they deciding what the criteria is to hire the person for that job, for that company? That's what you're applying for. The job of being their agent.
But when I'm targeting my business and I want my business to grow, shouldn't I be targeting based on towns?
Possibly, if that's how you believe you want to grow your business. That is one way to do it.
How else would you target?
I'm an internet marketer. For me, it's wherever the internet takes me.
But you can't do a house in this town and a house 50 miles away or whatever.
Sure you can.
That's not being successful. You're wasting all your energy going all over the place. You want to focus in one town, and I know some of the towns have hundreds and hundreds of agents, but who cares?
You can do that, and I'm not telling you not to, but I've listed homes over the phone by talking to people and giving my presentation over the phone in 20 minutes.
Over the phone? But you have to go see the house. You got to go.
No, not really.
You know, what do you mean, no, not really? Yeah, you do. You have to see the house. You got to.
No, not really.
You honestly listed a house on the phone.
We can call my client right now and he'll tell you that's exactly what I did.
Wow.
And he said it was the best listing and the best presentation and the best...
So it was a really bad house.
He actually said it was the real estate experience of his life. It was the easiest real estate experience, and the home was listed at $500,000. I sold it for $480 in a week. 2 weeks.
Wow.
If I think back.
Huh. But let me ask you, there are a lot of different real estate offices. all over.
Yep, tons.
And I focus in this town over here, and you're over here.
Yep.
So that's a negative for me to come all the way over to you.
Why?
Because I need to be where the door is. Okay, that was another Stump the Steven. So what did you think? Is that something that you were thinking about too? If you want to try to stump the Steven, call me, 201-925-8199, so we can get you in the door to stump the Steven and watch your business take off. I promise you. What do you believe?